Okay. This question deals with area of shapes. Okay, so area of shapes, and this is like a big problem, okay? So in this question, we have a blue square, and this is a picture. In fact, it is a picture of a wonderful, there we go, I'm gonna draw our lovely looking cat here. Clearly I'm not the best artist. I'm gonna draw a cat. Oh my gosh, this cat looks so angry. Let's give it a smile. There we go. There's our beautiful cat. Okay, so it's a picture of a cat. We also have a border on this picture. So the question is going to ask, okay, so the question is asking what is the area of the border around the picture? So when they refer to that, and it would have been nice if I got different colors, we were talking about this area here. So it's the space between the blue lines and the red lines. They want to know all that area. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to figure out, first of all, what the height and width of the border are, because it's actually unknown to us. We don't know at the moment. Let's get our black, beautiful. There we go, sorry. Okay. Great. Let's figure out this border here. So, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to recreate these two shapes. I'm going to get a blue box, and I'm going to say this is about my picture. It's not exactly they call it to scale, but it's not exactly the same size, but it's pretty close. We know, and see how there's a number 10 written there? See that number 10? That's representing the height of this picture here. So, we're going to say that this is 10 centimeters. Sometimes they do something like this. They use like that shape to represent, so that means 10 centimeters. So I've written it on both sides. They also said that the width was 15 centimeters, so I'll write it across, or I'll use this. Both of these kind of mean the same thing when you're looking at a shape. Okay, so we know that that's the measurements of those. What we don't know is the measurement. It's going to be a little bigger here. We don't know the measurement of this. See how it's a bit bigger there? But we can use, and I'm going to use something to pull it to the back here. I want this to go to back. Yay, there we go. Okay. Okay. It's moving there. Okay. We want to know that space there. So I'm going to move this away for a second. If we look, this picture inside gives us a portion. It tells us a bit of the length. We know from here to here it's 10. We don't know the rest of the space here and the rest of that space there. But if we look back to the original, they've told us. They've told us, well, the space from the picture to the bottom is 4, and the space from the picture to the top is 4. What's the in-between space? Well, that's 10 centimeters. So if we put these numbers together, I know it's all written differently. It looks like here's a line, and then there's another line here, and there's another line here. But we can move all the lines into one line. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw this line here. Well, this line here, and this line here. And we know that this is 4 centimeters. We know that this is 4 centimeters. And we know the space from there to there, okay, is 10 centimeters. So what we're going to be doing is actually adding those numbers together, okay? So when we do 4 plus 10, I'm going to write it over here, 4 plus 10 is equal to 18 centimeters. And that's going to be our height. Okay, that's the height of our border. So we've got that part. And then we're going to use that same information to find the width. Okay, we draw all the lines together. We know from here to here by looking at the other picture, this one here is 4 centimeters. So from the blue line to the right is 4 centimeters, and from the blue line to the left is 4 centimeters. So let's use that information again. This is 4 centimeters. I've changed the color apparently. And oh look, this 4, I get to use it again. It's in the right spot. So 4 plus 15 plus 4. Okay, so let's figure out what that is. So 4 plus 4 plus 15. A little harder, but I know that 4 plus 15 is 19, okay? And 19 plus 4 is 23. If you're not sure, you can always use a calculator to figure that part out, okay? So we got 23 centimeters, and that's called the width. So let's kind of color code this here so we make a little more sense of it. I got a yellow, are 18. Ooh, let's make that bigger. Throw a highlighter. There we go. So this height is this distance here. Okay, and it's the same. We kind of drew the same shape twice. Okay, and the width, highlighted in green, that's this distance here. Okay, so I know on the right down at the bottom it's really messy looking, but luckily I've left the top in the top corner here, the top left, the same. So I'm going to rewrite these numbers. We now know that from here to here, see how I use that thing? That's 18 centimeters. And from here to here, this is 23 centimeters. Great. So we found out the height and the width. That's actually really important to what we have to do. So remember the goal here was to actually figure out, and I'm going to use like a blue highlighter, is to actually figure out all this space in between here. So I know it's hard to visualize, but actually imagine that this is like a donut. And I'm going to kind of draw it here on the side. This border has a hole in the middle. Okay? So the gray is actually what we got to find the area of. I'm going to fill it in as best I can. And the white in the middle, that's actually what the picture represents. But right now it's all together as one piece. So we have to take the picture out. So when we take something away from another thing, do you know what operation you tend to use in mathematics when you're taking something away? We usually use subtraction. We're going to subtract. So to figure this out, we need to figure out the area of this picture of the cat. And then now that we have the larger values of the border, we're going to find the area of the border. And then we're going to subtract the two values. Think of it like we're cutting out the picture of the cat, and that will tell us what this blue border is. Okay, and that's what we're trying to represent here, like a missing picture in the middle. Okay, so to find area, do you remember what operation you would use?
Length times width.
Length times width. Amazing. So let's do this. Area. The area, and I'm going to put a little p beside the a. All that means is area of a picture. Okay? The area of the picture is the length. I use L times W. Okay? What is our length for the picture? Do you recall what the length of the picture was?
18. No.
That's for the entire border, yeah. So just the picture of the cat. Do you remember what that is?
No.
From here to here? We got a value right here that tells us what it is.
15.
15, amazing. So we have 15 multiplied by, I called that the length. This could be the width. It doesn't matter which one you call the length or the width. You just call the other one the opposite. Okay, from the top of the picture to the bottom of the picture, do you remember what that measurement was? 10. Amazing. So you might need a calculator to do this for length times width. Give it a try on your calculator and tell me if I get the same answer that you do. Yeah.
150.
Great. Now, when they talk about area, do they tell you to do this? Centimeters squared? Good. Okay, so it's a square. We have 150 centimeters squared. The next thing we're going to do is area of, and I'm going to put a B, of the border. Well, the formula for area is the exact same. It's still length times width. So the length of the border is a little higher. Goes from the top to the bottom. Do you remember what the value of it is? 18 centimeters. Okay, and we don't have to write centimeters. In fact, I didn't last time, so I'm going to leave it out to start. Okay, 18 centimeters. Oh my gosh, I wrote it in again. What a bad memory I have. Yay. And the width, what is the width of this object?
23.
Amazing, it's 23. So 18 times 23, give me a hand on your calculator. That is one I'm going to struggle with in my head.
414.
Amazing. 414 centimeters squared. Do you remember what we said our next step needed to be once we got the two areas? Think of it like a donut. We had to take something out of the other.
Of a picture.
Take the picture away from the border. Okay? So which is the border's measurement or area?
18 times 23.
Yeah, which was what number?
414.
414, okay? So we're going to say 414. Even write centimeters in. Subtract, what was the area of the picture?
150.
150 centimeters. And technically they're squared. Okay? Let's subtract on your calculator 414 from 150.
264.
264. And because it's area, we always write centimeters squared. Okay, so let's kind of recap what we did there. There's a lot of information that we passed along. Okay, and then from there we realized that if you take the picture away, that gives you just the outside border. Think of it like a donut. So we got the area by going 15 times 10. That's the width of the picture times the height of the picture. And we figured out that area was 150. Then we did the bigger rectangle here, which was 18 times 23. So we got the area of the larger background, which was 414. Think of it then, we cut this picture out. We subtracted the 150 from 414, and we got 264. Get rid of the first one. Here we go. We started here with the picture. Okay, we added 4 and 4, and we got 18 centimeters. Okay, and sorry, 10 plus 4 and 4, and we got 18 centimeters. Then we got 15 plus 4 and 4, and that gave us 23 centimeters. So we had 18 and 23 centimeters.